The foot of page 9, paragraph 35. You say the following: in December 2024, Matlala referred me to a high-ranking police officer and I subsequently met him. I knew him as I had conducted an operation with him in the past. He shared information with me of the intention to craft a negative finding in a disciplinary hearing against Major General Khan. So the starting point for this whole process is a reference from Mr. Matlala. He brings you someone. He puts you in touch with someone. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And this person, he says, will tell you about a plot to convict General Khan.
That's correct.
Did he tell you how he found this person, this police officer?
He didn't tell me.
Did it strike you as odd that Mr. Matlala, who you suspect of being a criminal and who you are investigating for corruption in SAPS, comes to you with a witness to be able to prove and expose corruption in SAPS? Why would Mr. Matlala want to expose corruption in SAPS?
I don't know, but I don't know why he would want to expose.
Did it not strike you odd that your primary target, who's suspected of corrupting the procurement process, is now wanting to expose corruption in SAPS?
It did not.
I see. Now, the ultimate target of this operation was Generals Khumalo and Mkhwanazi. If you go to paragraph 36 of your statement, you say, the intention was to employ this person as a Section 204 witness against both Lieutenant Colonel Khumalo and Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, who plotted against Major General Khan with reference to the disciplinary hearing outcome. Say that you gave a statement to Lieutenant Colonel Schneller. Part of the strategy behind the disciplinary hearing instituted against Major General Khan was that he would be employed in that situation to give implicating testimony against Major General Khan at the insistence of Lieutenant General Khumalo and Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. So, if I understand you correctly, you're saying this officer, who Mr. Matlala wants you to use to expose corruption in SAPS, says he is being used by General Khumalo and General Mkhwanazi to give false evidence against General Khan. Is that broadly correct?
That's correct.
And you then go to meet the officer, and essentially he tells you that he will only change his story to what he says is the truth if you ensure that he gets promoted to the level of full colonel and you give him a bag of cash. Is that correct?
He spoke about something, and he said, yeah, he was talking about a bag, maybe he implied cash, but he never said bag of cash.
You said bag, he didn't mention cash. What did you understand the bag to contain? The bag that he wanted, what would have to be in the bag?
No, a bag would be...
I mean, was he looking for a sort of smart handbag or something?
No.
Or was he looking for a bag of cash?
Yeah, that will imply cash, of course.
Yeah, I thought so too. Let's date this meeting. If you go to evidence bundle 51.
Sorry, exhibits or annexures?
Evidence bundle in this case, but we will move between annexures and evidence bundles. So unfortunately, we may need both. Sorry, exhibit. Sorry.
You said page 51. Thank you.
And this shouldn't be displayed because the name of the investigating colonel shouldn't be displayed. But what we see at the This is a WhatsApp that was sent to Lieutenant Colonel Schneller, who was going to be in charge of the 252A operation. It was sent by the investigator from the Hawks who came with you to that meeting with the source, who was going to change his story. And in paragraph 2, he reports the following. The colonel, who's going to change his story, contacted Mr. Brown and he arranged a meeting for Wednesday, 29 January 2025. So the meeting was on 29 January 2025. Is that correct? Mr. Mokgotsi?
This is the WhatsApp which was sent to Colonel Schnell.
Yes, but I'm interested in the dates and times. It says 29 January 2025 and the meeting at the Houghton Hotel at approximately 1823. Does that correspond with what you recall?
Yeah, but I'm not sure about this date.
Sorry, you're not sure about the date of 29 January?
Yes.
When do you think the meeting did take place?
It's the same, when we were not good with dates. Remember, I was so much, I kept on saying to the commission, the recording happened in December, somewhere or January. I was not sure. But I think if we proceed, we can proceed. I'll take this date. I'm just not sure. Remember, it's someone who typed. I cannot really say, yes, it was on this date.
Perhaps we can help by going to your affidavit. Which is in the exhibit bundle at page 43.
That's correct.
There,
yes, it confirms on the affidavit.
and paragraph 5, at the foot of page 43, there you say on Wednesday, 29 January 2025, at approximately 1823. I was accompanied by, and then you give the name of the investigator. So those dates are correct.
Yeah, they did that.
Date and time, because you would have made that affidavit quite soon after the event. Let's go to page 106 of the annexure bundle now and see what happened in the chats when you came out of that meeting. If you
106.
106, indeed. If you go down to 2015, so that would have been less than 2 hours after your meeting with your source started. At 2015, you text Mr. Matlala, and you say to him, the meeting was positive. Are we referring to the same meeting? Maybe if you read further. Is he willing to help you guys, says Mr. Matlala. You respond, I just wish he could help with a statement.
That's correct.
And then you say, I think he needs cash. So we're talking about what's happened at this meeting.
That's correct.
And you go over the page, and Mr. Matlala's response at the top of page 107 is, okay, arrange with Khan to give him cash if the information he has is worth it.
That's correct.
So Mr. Matlala is saying he wants cash, speak to General Khan. We give him the cash if the information is going to be worth it.
That's correct.
So let's just take a step back. Mr. Matlala is a suspected criminal you're investigating.
That's correct.
He refers you to an apparently corrupt SAPS officer who is willing to tailor his evidence if he's paid enough.
That's correct.
And Mr. Matlala says you should get General Khan to pay the officer to give evidence that will incriminate General Mkhwanazi and General Khumalo.
No, for him to make a statement, not to incriminate as such. Remember, it is the man coming to me saying, I'm being told to incriminate the person. Now, and I'm going back to the person who gave me the senior officer to say, I think this person wants cash. And he say, it means therefore that it is this general who's affected. I must ask him that he is the one who must finance this.
I see, but you say it's not to incriminate them, but in fact, if you go back to your witness statement at paragraph 37, you said that was the purpose. The strategy behind the disciplinary hearing instituted against Major General Khan was that he, in other words, this officer, would be employed in that situation.
That's correct.
To give implicating testimony against Major General Khan at the insistence of Lieutenant General Khumalo and Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi.
That's correct.
And so the whole purpose of this operation is to expose Lieutenant General Khumalo and Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, is it not?
Yes, it's to use this statement correctly. That's
And
correct.
you want to use it as a Section 204 witness, you say in paragraph 36,
That's correct.
and that presupposes that there will be criminal charges against Lieutenant Colonel Khumalo and Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi,
It's true.
because you don't have 204 witnesses unless you're in a
correct.
criminal case.
That's correct.
So let's scroll forward a little bit in these chats to page 114. And on 2 February at 12:27, Mr. Matlala sends you a story about the plot against General Khan being exposed. It says, breaking, police witnesses change statements for promotion. Then there's a long story about the trumped up charges against General Khan and how witnesses have come clean and said that they were persuaded to give false evidence against Khan. You recall that chat?
Adequate.
Your response to that chat is revealing. That's on page 115 at 12:27. You say, disappointed. You recall that?
That's correct.
And then you say, just have to leave everything. Then there are 2 calls between you and Mr. Matlala. And then you say, small session with lawyers. All of this is happening almost immediately. What was the small session with lawyers you were talking about?
Just that there was no session with lawyers.
Sorry, there was no session with lawyers.
Yeah.
There wasn't one.
There was no.
So this was a false statement you made to Mr. Matlala.
Because I did not answer his phone.
So you were just explaining why you didn't answer his phone.
That's correct.
But if we look at the time, the text that you sent to him was at 12:27:52. His calls were at 12:27:56 and 12:28:05, and then you respond to him again at 12:28. So are you saying that you deliberately chose not to answer his phone, you wanted to communicate with him on text? And you need to have a reason to explain that.
It's not that I did not. I wanted him to tell me what he was saying.
Sorry, you wanted him?
To perhaps tell me what he was saying. I did not take the call at that time.
Well, he then says this is in your favor, actually. It disrupts their plan against Khan. He says that to you. You see that?
He said that to me.
Yes. Why would he think that disrupting a plan against Khan is in your favor?
He was referring to the publication that you just showed.
But why would it be in your favor to disrupt a plan against Khan?
I don't know why he sent me that message.
You respond to him by saying maybe, but that's not my plan. So you're saying it will disrupt the plan against Khan, but it wasn't what you had in mind. Is that correct?
That's correct.
What did you have in mind?
When I say maybe,
When you say, but that's not my plan, what was your plan?
that's not my plan is the response that I gave to Kate. And now the question is, what was my plan then?
Well, let me put to you what I think your plan was and why you were disappointed. Your plan was always to use this case to target General Khumalo and General Mkhwanazi. You accept that? That was your plan.
That's not the plan. The reason I said I was disappointed, remember, I did write on my statement that I leaked that publication.
I know what you wrote, but
now, the moment you give me someone to help me with whatever, that's how we recorded the person. And it quickly appeared on the news that the same person who gave me information about the plot, it is now known. I was pretending as if I don't know. And I was disappointed
as if you don't know what?
That this information leaked.
You see, I want to put to you what your plan all along had been, and in fact what you indicated in your statement is that you wanted this colonel to be used in a criminal prosecution of General Khumalo and General Mkhwanazi. That was your original plan, was it not?
Yeah. Commissioners, when you refer to the text here, I'm saying, because you also mentioned...
No, I'm asking whether that was your original plan. We'll talk about the text later.
I don't get that question properly. You're saying apart from the fact that this thing leaked, because the moment it got leaked, it means now I am disappointed because my plan will never work again. Is that what you're saying?
That is what I'm saying.
Oh no, that was not the plan. The plan here was that Kat should not know that this information has leaked because of me. But the intention of the recording, yes, was that plan that you're saying.
Yes. And the leaking meant that plan could never be put into operation.
Yes, but it means the...
Sorry, you said yes.
Yes.
Yes, so the leaking prevented that plan being put into operation. Because once it leaked, you could no longer do your sting with General Khumalo and General Mkhwanazi.
Yeah, once it leaked, it could not proceed.
Yes. Why were you targeting General Mkhwanazi and General Khumalo?
No, I did not target them. They made themselves the target by planning with the person.
I see.
Yes.
So you're saying they told this person to give false evidence about what happened in that drug bust in 2021?
That's what he told me. That's what I recorded out of him. It's not. It is now my statement, but it is now said in the commission like that because he said that.
See, did you bother at the time, before you tried to target General Khumalo and General Mkhwanazi this way, to check out what story this witness had told when the drug bust happened in 2021, long before he'd had contact with either of the generals?
No, I did not.
You didn't?
No.
So you didn't investigate this apparently corrupt cop who comes to you from Katmatlala, who says, I will change my story if you pay me enough money, because General Khumalo and General Mkhwanazi are making me tell a false story. You didn't investigate what he'd said earlier.
Yeah, now here's the situation. It means this senior officer, he may have his original statement, which when he got to Durban, they said he must change. Then he comes to me and say, if he gets something, he will change the statement again.
So he made a statement back in 2021. Then he meets the allegedly corrupt Generals Khumalo and Mkhwanazi, and they lean on him to change the statement in 2024, to make a new statement that's false. And then he says to you, I'll go back to my original true statement if you give me a bag of cash. Is that what you're saying?
He never said, it's not said. He just said, he never mentioned or implied the original statement. He spoke about changing the statement which was given to him in Durban. So not knowing whether he would go to the original statement or not.
Now, if he was present at a drug bust, you'd expect that a statement would exist from him that was taken at the time of the drug bust, would you not?
That's correct.
Did you not ask to look at that statement to see what he said on the day, several years before he had had any contact with General Khumalo or General Mkhwanazi?
No, I did not ask him.
Maybe we should look at it now. Can you go to Exhibit Bundle 211? And again, is he locked out? That's good. So you see, I don't know if you have an unredacted copy. There certainly won't. The copy that goes up will be redacted. But this is his statement. And if you go down to the date on page 212, it's 14 September 2021. You see that? You see that date?
That's correct.
And across the top it says Boyson's CAS
Yes,
something stroke, and at the end of it it says 21.
that's correct.
So this is the statement that he gave in 2021 at the time of the drug bust. You say that's correct?
That's correct.
And you will accept that that was long before General Khumalo or General Mkhwanazi could have had any contact with him in relation to this matter.
It's true.
So let's see what he says. Go to paragraph 5, the foot of page
211.
211.
That's correct.
The driver of the truck which was containing the drugs was pointed to me, whom was already placed under arrest, and members informing me that they're awaiting the photographer to come take pictures of the said packages of drugs which were placed inside a police bakkie. While the scene was being explained to me, I was surprised to see one general of intelligence. Now, would that be General Khan?
I cannot confirm.
Are you aware of any other generals of intelligence who are alleged to have been present at this scene?
Oh, yes, it was him.
So it would be General Khan. He's the
Yes.
only general of intelligence at the scene. While the scene was being explained to me, I was surprised to see one general of intelligence who never introduced himself to the members on the scene and started dictating and giving instructions that members who found the said truck with drugs be arrested. So he wants the police officers who did the drug bust to be arrested. The suspect, brackets driver, who members already placed under arrest, was released from the scene as a suspect by the said general. So the driver of the drug cargo, who'd been placed under arrest, was, according to your source, released from the scene as a suspect by General Khan. And the truck which was containing the said drugs when it was stopped was never booked into SAP 13. So the truck containing the drugs was never booked into a SAP warehouse. And then your source continues. As an experienced investigator, what I observed happening there at the scene is only abuse of power and rank, which I don't know why it was done. I informed all members placed under arrest that they need to open a case of defeating the ends of justice against the said general. So this man says, immediately after the event, I told everyone there we must open a case against General Khan. I was not happy, since I noticed what was happening is a cover strategy to protect the driver of the truck found with drugs and the origin of the said truck and drugs. Fact that members are manipulated and power of rank is used to achieve unknown or ulterior motives is unacceptable and needs to be dealt with within the should be parameters of the law, as what I observed transpiring on the said day was that some individuals are above the law, and it irritated me seeing that members enforcing the law being abused by seniors within the police. And then it's signed, and is that the same man who came to you as the source in the 252?
That's correct.
So this contemporaneous statement made by that man says that General Khan should be charged with defeating the ends of justice, and that he's abused his authority and suppressed an arrest and a drug bust. And the only false evidence that this man was ever going to give was the false evidence that you and Mr. Matlala were hoping he would be paid for to exonerate General Khan and to implicate General Khumalo and General Mkonazi. You accept that that's?
No.
So where was the false evidence?
If like you asked me, did I look at the statement? I did not. And therefore, I wouldn't have known any other statement except what he was telling me. And he was one of the witnesses during the disciplinary hearing. So I did not have any other statement, and it is not. I did not even ask him what is your original statement. He said, "Look, we were called to Durban. This is what they said, and they want us to implicate the man."
See, now that you know what his original statement was, do you accept that if your plan had gone ahead, false evidence would have been given against General Khumalo and General Mkonazi by this witness who was going to be paid in the scheme?
Should we had agreed to pay him? Because there was not an intention to pay him. What we wanted was the information which he had, and he gave that information. And as you say, should the trial or criminal charges been laid, it would only came out during trial when this statement is provided.
I see.
Yes.
Now this plan to trap General Khumalo and General Mkonazi was a plan that you executed with a double set of misrepresentations. First, you say you masqueraded as Mr. Matlala's ally. You said you were an agent who was pretending to be Mr. Matlala's ally, but you weren't actually. Is that correct?
That's correct.
But in relation to the SAPS members who did the 252A operation, you also masqueraded as an agent of the minister, as an employee in the minister's office.
As a comrade, yes, as a comrade to the minister.
Please speak up, Mr.
Oh, yeah, that's correct. As a comrade to the minister.
No, not as a comrade, as someone
Yes.
employed in the office of the minister.
That's correct.
And we went through your affidavit yesterday. I'd just like to take you to, I don't want to traverse what I traversed yesterday, but there is another aspect of your affidavit which I want to look at. Paragraph 5. Do you have paragraph 5 of the affidavit? It's page 43 of the exhibit bundle. There you say, on Wednesday, 29 January 2025, at approximately 18:23, I was accompanied by the Hawks officer, and we met the colonel at the Houghton Hotel. And then you say, I do not know the colonel, and this is the first time that I have met him. That was false too, wasn't it?
In the context of this, remember I operated with...
No, you've given your explanation
Yes.
as to why you...
That's correct. That's
so
correct.
it was false too.
That's
yes.
correct.
Now, can I understand why you had to lie under oath in relation to the fact that you knew this source? Why was it necessary for the operation for you to lie under oath about previously knowing this source? This colonel, let's call him colonel because he is a colonel.
Because I wouldn't tell even Colonel Schnell that I knew this person. I wouldn't tell him.
But why wouldn't you tell him? Why was it necessary for the operation? Why was it necessary to lie under oath?
Because it would not make, it would look, even Lieutenant Schnell, Colonel Schnell will ask me, but why would this man, why would you record this man when you know him like this?
Sorry, why would you?
I record, what you would want to know, it was my thinking then, why would I record him if I knew him?
So if Colonel Schneller knew that you and this colonel had a previous association, the whole operation would not be allowed to proceed?
Not the whole operation. Not the whole operation.
What operation?
I just felt,
what would not be allowed?
I just felt he should not know. That was my feeling that time.
So in your judgment, you decided that this was sufficient reason to lie under oath?
I don't know how you could, it sounds so different. I don't know how are we going to, it means we'll continue even if I've provided reasons, unless, I don't know if it calls for the commission to make a ruling that it was, I don't know, it sounds otherwise like I was not doing my job. Like repeating it, you're a professional liar. Today you were lying out the oath, even though I gave reasons. This was an underground work. But I don't know if a commission could come up with a certain ruling that will stay until this proceedings.
Well, I don't propose to take this further, but so maybe we can stop it there. But I do want to go to further aspects of this operation.
Yeah.
If you go down to Lieutenant Schneller's affidavit, and if we go to the sort of bottom of page 47, top of page 48. Top of page 48, he clearly assumed that you were employed in the office of the minister, because he says, I was informed that the complainant was Mr. Brown Mokgotsi, a politician that is deployed at the office of the Minister of Police, Mr. Senzo Mchunu. So he authorized this operation on the basis that you were someone from the minister's office.
That's correct.
And then if we go into the transcript of this meeting that you had with the source, we see that the source, the colonel, was reluctant to commit to writing and wanted some sort of assurance from the minister or the DNC, the Deputy National Commissioner. Let's go to page 65. Maybe if we can just clarify, I understand from this transcript that you would be man 3, man 1 would be the colonel, and man 2 would be the Hawks officer. We can't show this because names are mentioned. But if you go to the top of page 65, you see there, you say, and then the Hawks officer says the colonel doesn't want to give a statement, but he's willing to tell the minister or DNC. Would that be Deputy National Commissioner?
That's correct.
And that would be General Sabia, would it not?
In this case, perhaps I did not even think whom did he refer to. But remember, there are about 3 DNCs. I'm not sure, but it's possible it may be DNC Sabia, yes.
Who is the DNC who you refer to right through this process?
Myself.
You yourself?
Yeah, I refer to the DNC Sabia.
I see.
For this man to say the DNC, it should not be concluded that he meant him. There are other DNCs, but
so he
in
may
this
not
case,
have been
let's say
referring to.
he meant DNC Sabia. It's fine.
Did you not try to find out which DNC he needed comfort from?
No, I did not, because he was not going to meet him or the minister anyway, so I didn't find out.
And let's see what the man says. Go to page 69, where he's expressing his misgivings. He says to you, go see the DNC and the minister and let me think. And if it can happen, or we get something to block this okay, I get the post and fix the place, they must give something. Khan must look after me. He must give me something, a bag or something, must get a bag. Okay, so the source wants you to go and see the DNC and the minister. The colonel says, go and see the DNC and the minister and let me think. That's correct, is it not?
Yes, that's correct. I'm following.
And did you understand which DNC he was referring to? Which DNC did he want you to go and see?
Yes, I've long agreed that let's agree it is DNC Sabia.
DNC Sabia.
Yes, let's agree, even if it's not written here.
And the Hawks colonel is egging him on the basis that you can sort out his life with the minister because you're in the minister's office and all he needs to do is to email the minister. So let's take a look at paragraph, page 62.
Sorry, Advocate Chaskalson. Did we establish what a bag is? Is it a rank or money? I can't seem to recall.
A bag with cash inside it. Towards the bottom of the page, on page 62, the Hawks officer says, then what do you do? He writes an email or a letter to the minister, to the chief of staff, saying, this is the story, this is what happened, I'm requesting your intervention. That gives them the opportunity. So the Hawks man is saying to the colonel, write to the minister, write to the chief of staff. And 2 lines down, The Colonel says, I do what? I do what? And the Hawksman says, write an email to the Minister to say this is what happened. I've got a grievance, this issue. I'm aggrieved because of X, Y, and Z, and I'm requesting your assistance in the matter. That's it. He'll sort out the rest for you. So the Hawksman's making promises to this guy that you can step in the Minister's office and just make his life whole again. Let's go down a page. Top of the next page, 63, the Hawksman again. That's why we've got to do it. You will write that email. You can write that email tonight even. Right, you send that email tomorrow morning. We can talk, give feedback how we're going to do that. So he's saying to the Colonel, write to the Minister. And then in the middle of the page, but that's what I'm saying. Brown will probably speak to the Minister. The Colonel's a bit sort of dodgy, And the Hawks guy says, you need to send that email tonight. And the Colonel says, Brown's working with the Minister, he's a police officer. And the Hawks guy says, no, he's the Minister's man. And the Colonel says, And the Colonel and the Hawks guy says, he's the Minister's man. And over the page, the Colonel says, the only person who can stop it is the Minister.
Which page is that?
We're now at page 64, sort of about 7 lines in. The only person who can stop it is the Minister. And the Hawks person says, how can the Minister stop it? The Colonel says, how can the Minister stop it? And the Colonel says, misled, misrepresentation. And the Colonel's and the Hawksman says, can you? And the Colonel says, facts were misrepresented to me. I did my due diligence and worked for. And then the Hawksman says, and found the truth. Can you do a statement for that and send it to the Minister? So this Hawksman is saying, Brown's from the Minister's office, send your complaint to the Minister. And on it goes. The central theme through all of this is the Hawksman who thinks that you are part of the Minister's office is urging this person to send stuff through to the Minister at at every turn. Now, you didn't try to stop any of this inside this meeting. I don't see you saying, no, don't send anything to the Minister, don't send anything to the Minister. Have I got it wrong?
I don't understand. You say I did not say anything.
Did you try to stop him sending something to the Minister?
Who's stopping who, Commissioner?
The Hawksman is saying to the Colonel, write something to the Minister, give the Minister a statement, email the Minister. Brown's in the Minister's office, he'll look after you.
Yeah, so he's talking about a statement in relation to the hearing.
Yes, that's what he wants. I think he contemplates two things.
Yeah.
One, a statement in relation to the hearing, and two, possibly a statement relating to how this Colonel's been passed over for promotion.
That's
and he's
correct.
saying, write this to the Minister, and he's also saying, Brown is in that office, he'll sort you out.
That's correct.
Is there anywhere in this transcript where you try to stop that process? Where you say, maybe you shouldn't, maybe we should do it this way, or maybe don't write to the Minister?
No, there's no way,
Well, weren't you worried that a letter would go to the Minister or the Chief of Staff, and this Colonel would be referring to you as someone who's working in the Minister's office and has made promises to him, and then you'd be exposed?
But immediately we knew there was no way he could write a letter.
How did you know there was no way he could write a letter?
Because he relied on me to do that for him. Even if he could write the letter, he had to give it to me. There was no way he could write the letter.
Well, what the Hawksman is saying is email it to the Minister.
Yes, I don't think he could write the letter. Commissioners, I'm thinking something now, and I don't want to laugh. This is very serious, but the way he's doing it, it's like he was there. And I'm thinking of this other email that I have that is linked to me, my name, but it was not a plan. But I'm just thinking, if he emailed, where was he going to email? I'm getting your point. So, but I was going to make sure that I get the letter in my hand. But I'm trying to show you, commissioners, in this thing that this is a kernel of crime intelligence talking to the Hawksmen about me in that legend building that I spoke about. Who confirms this man is with the minister? I'm trying to elaborate that when this function arises, it becomes so real.
Sorry, can you just, I'm not sure I understood what you're saying. You're talking about legend building. So are you saying that the colonel was actually a colonel in crime intelligence who was part of a legend building exercise or not?
I'm saying if a colonel is telling, you see, this is man one.
The colonel, the man one is the colonel who's
That's
going to
correct.
give the new statement in and is going to expose the attempt to frame General Khan.
No. I'm referring to man two.
Man two is the Hawks colonel.
Yes, the one who's talking.
Yes.
He knew. I'm sorry to use the word crime intelligence. He knew I'm not in the office of the minister. We are together when we do this 252. But he because
So that
Rabat, yo, Rabat.
But you're not an ordinary member of the public in relation to the minister. But you're not an ordinary member of the public in relation to the minister, Mr. Mokgotsi. You're someone who the minister has been phoning on several occasions